つまり二人が殺された後、私にも及ぶだろう危害への警護についてちゃんとそういう指示を出してくれれば、高野たちの死後も私の身辺は強固に警備されているかもしれない。
The protection they provide is probably the highest standard of security I could hope for. Yet, I lose that the moment Tomitake and Takano die. So I never have their protection after Watanagashi. And therefore, I get killed too. In other words, that's it. Whoever possesses a strong will to kill me actually just wants me dead. And yet so long as those two are alive, there's a tight security all around Hinamizawa that prevents the killer from getting to me. So, to kill me, they must first kill Tomitake and Takano, the heart of that security. Then my protection falls away, leaving me exposed.
リズムで考えれば考えるほど、二人の運命と私の運命はつながっているのね。そうやって考えると、あの二人を見殺しにした時点で、私の運命は逃れられないものに決まってしまうのかもしれない。
なら、リカのすべきことはもう明らかなのです。
そうね。自分の命より先にあの二人の命を救う方が先決ってことね。
It's kind of ironic. I gave up on them because I was more determined to save my own life. But I finally came to the conclusion that I have to help them first, before helping myself. But there's something I still don't understand. Someone with convictions this strong is trying to kill me for some equally strong motive. Yet, no matter how often I debate it, I can't think of anyone who would benefit from my death. Not only that, there should only be people who would want to protect me. Especially since they would do anything to protect me in the present environment. They even eliminated my mother. To be perfectly honest, I don't even care about her anymore. I never got along with her. And she's the one who took my father's death the wrong way, making a huge deal out of it like she did. I guess there is the thought that your mother was being really, really bad to you, Rika, and yeah, she posed a danger to you, and they would eliminate her in that sense. She got what she deserved. I'm a valuable guinea pig for them, and I can be a bomb too. No one benefits from making me explode. There's only a disaster awaiting them if that happens. Lots of people will be lost, and nobody would gain anything from that. According to Takano, my death would be like the eruption of a volcano in the middle of the village. I'm not interested in what happens after my death, but they're really concerned about it. They're watching me every day to ensure that I don't accidentally hit my head on the corner of a block of tofu and die. It's fair to say that they are here in order to prevent the eruption from happening. You'd be suspicious of them if they were going to benefit in some way from my death. But as everyone knows, that can't possibly be the case. My death would create nothing but a disaster. They are benefiting from my being alive right now. Except maybe there is somebody who would benefit from the disaster and you being dead.
損得の問題ではなく、何かの怨恨かもしれないとは随分思ったわよね。私個人じゃなくて、古出家に対する恨みみたいなものが伝統的に御三家とかに残ってたりして、私が爆弾だと知らないからこそ殺したと。
Maybe. That's why I was suspicious of the three families, especially the Sonosaki family. However, after observing them in numerous rounds, I feel that's not the case. I felt that way in several eyes. but it always had something to do with that incident with Keiichi and the doll. It's clear that there's nothing going on between the Sasaki family and mine.
あとは狂信的な何者かなのです。
If it's not about profit or grudge, he might be someone who's secretly a deranged cultist. We've already had a series of murders 4 years in a row, under the name of Yashiro-sama's curse. Timing-wise, it would somewhat interest me. Timing-wise, it would somewhat be interesting if I, the incarnation of Yashiro-sama, were killed on the 5th year. I can't stand to be murdered for such a whimsical reason, but such a motive actually seemed fitting. Ironically, I would have to suspect Takano, if that's the case. She's well known for being an eccentric researcher of local histories. She's only interested in the village's history because she already knows who I am. She's doing the research based on the notion that I'm important, so she should have no reason to kill me. She would desire to keep me close to her as a research sample. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking that she would be one to kill you, because of the research. I did throw that idea that she's such a fanatic of all that, to the point where she would read the whole, oh, if this reincarnation of Yashiro would die, then the world would end. And she would test that. In a deranged, like, cultist sense, maybe she would do that to test it out and see if that actually happens. And if that happens, hey, my theory has been proven. The village got destroyed, but hey, I've been proven right. Now I feel better about myself. I did throw that theory before. It's hard to believe that she would kill her favorite toy. She might be willing to kill someone who would try to harm her little toy, though.
まあ、いくら考えてもわからないし、誰かが私を必ず殺す。その事実から逃れられれば、他はとりあえずどうでもいいんだから。
No, I take that back. I want to escape my deadly fate. But I also want all my friends to be happy. And I want the rest of my life to be happy too. I don't want to hide myself in a forest forever just to get away from my murderer. In fact, I tried that once before, but I still met with the same ending. Living in the forest was a horrible experience. I think I was able to survive until July that time. That might be the longest I ever lived. I smiled bitterly and finished off the rest of the orange wine in the glass. I'd have to talk to Ariakey again. I don't like him, but his people are my only hope. His people?
もういい時間ね。床に戻らないと。明日が辛いわ。
僕もそう思いますです。おやすみなさいなのですよ。
おやすみ. I lay down and closed my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep right away. Suddenly, I remembered Rena's words out of nowhere. It was no good when I was thinking about it on my own. I wasn't thinking about it on my own. I was talking it out with Hanyuu. Now I know. It's important to talk to other people. Friends have greater meaning than I thought. You can talk to them about anything. I finally realized that. After I asked Takano for help, should I also talk to Keiichi? Yes. I've told him before in my previous lives, but he never believed me then. Alright, a very productive discussion we had right here. I feel like we are on a good progress. I definitely feel like we are on a good track. Like, let's focus on Takano and Keiichi, for sure. Rika Furuta always thought that there were 4 members in her family. She could clearly see all of us, her father, her mother, and me. She had no idea that I was invisible to anyone else but her. Okay, Hanyuu's perspective, my appearance is a little different from human beings. I may otherwise look like a person, but I can't hide my horns. So, would you say that you are a demon? I'd hope that because Rika has seen me since she was a baby, she wouldn't be bothered by my ugly horns at all. And that hope came true. And just as chicks believe whatever they see first is their parent, Rika accepted me as a part of her family as a matter of course. Even though I have these horns, Rika and I have been close ever since the day she accepted me as her family member. I became closer to her than her parents. I couldn't even remember the last time I was able to communicate with someone. We spent all day together. But her family, especially her mother, denied my existence. Since her mother so strongly denied me, Rika and her mother became distant. Rika didn't learn certain things that many children learn from their mothers. That's why I taught her instead. It's kind of ironic how that made her mother resent Rika even more. Rika used to fight with her mother a lot about how she talked. I guess she picked up some bad habits from me. I guess that would explain it. Besides the fact that she didn't get along with her mother, Rika was a pretty normal girl. Like, Actually, okay. I guess this puts into perspective some stuff. Like, okay, when she was very, 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 very little, she learned some stuff that normal kids would not know at that age. But it's not because she was going through loops at that point. At least I think. It's because she learned from Hanyuu. She was just like Satoko. She loved running around in the woods and doing mischievous things. However, in June 1983, Rika's life was taken. All we want is a happy life for Rika. My power only allows us to search for the path leading to that. It's awful to repeat the same tragedy over and over again. Although it's devastating, we can still find happiness within this endless world. Rika Furuda's destiny is a tragic dead end. But I'm secretly enjoying the fact that I get to spend more time with her than what normal people can enjoy. It's not just Rika. They may not see or hear me, but being with Satoko, Neon, Rena, and Keiichi is also very fun. I can never be one of them, but I can still be by their side. Like, looking at the Hanyuu and all that, it definitely gives me the feeling that Hanyuu does not want this whole thing to end. I guess you could conjure that from her pessimistic view and all that, and she doesn't want Rika to think too much about it because it hurts Rika. Because it kind of makes you question, like, what would happen like after the fate is changed and the curse will be broken, and she will be able to live past 1983. Maybe deep down Hanyuu does not want that.
Yeah, Rika ちゃんが日曜日以外に診療所にいらっしゃるなんて珍しいですね。
Hello?
高野とお話ししたいことがありますのです。今日はいますですか？
いえ、多分リサさんとデートじゃないでしょうか。
Risa?
いやいや、お羨ましい。
feel like I heard that name before, in like the earlier parts. Who the fuck is Risa?
どうしてリサなのですか？よくわからない名前なのです。
それは本人に聞いてみてください。
Tomitake?
初対面の時のちょっとした認識ミスなんですがね。
He's the only one that I can think of.
その時の先方の対応がとても面白かったもので。
I don't get it. That's what nicknames are all about, though.
どんなご用件ですか？伝言でよければ今夜ミーティングがありますから、その席上で伝えておきますよ。
Wait. Risa. Ah, damn it. Okay, I did take a little bit of a break over there. And because of that, the dialogue just disappeared from history. It's all gone. He was never there to begin with. Wait. So this is... They're talking about Takano? Not Takano. Tomitake?
ありがとうなのです。でも直接言いますのでいいのですよ。
そうですか。わかりました。では、私は書類事務に戻ります。
今日は入江は診察はしていないですか？
今夜のミーティングの資料作りで大忙しです。普段から準備はしているんですがね、日々の本業に圧迫されてなかなか時間がなんて言うと準備がなってないと怒られてしまいますね。
それに加えて野球までやっているのですから、つくづく入江は元気だなと思いますです。
本当に忙しいですよ。家事や秘書を代行してくれる可愛いメイドさんを常時募集中なのですが、なかなか応募がありません。
He left and looked at his watch. He seemed to be in a hurry.
高野たちはどこへ行っているか想像はつきますですか？
村の中をいろいろと回るだろうと思います。ああ、でもいつも待ち合わせは神社の境内なんだそうですよ。
Gee.
高野さんは半ドンで帰られましたから、ひょっとするとまだ境内にいるかもしれませんね。
I looked at the clock on the wall. I must have just missed her. This was no time to be chatting with Irie.
ありがとうなのですよ。神社に戻ってみますです。
年に4度しかない仰せなんですから、あまり邪魔をしない方がいいと思いますよ。
He smiled mischievously and waved his hand in goodbye. Alright. I headed back to the shrine. I was going to park my bike by the stairs that lead to the shrine grounds. Satoko and I are the only people who park our bikes there normally. But I saw more than 10 bikes there today. More than 10? People must be gathering at the convention room. There are more and more meetings when the Watanagashi festival draws closer. Seeing all these bikes reminded me that summer is nearly here. Most of the bikes were old and beat up. However, I saw two unfamiliar ones parked there. Of Takano and Tomitake. They were sporty mountain bikes with the same design but different colors. They must belong to Takano and Tomitake. I went up the stairs to look for the two of them, but I couldn't find either. Was there any place with a great view for taking pictures? I tried looking in places like that, but I still couldn't find them. So I started looking based on what Takano might be interested in. The ritual storehouse. I could only think of one place.
どう？二郎さん。
うん。シンプルなタイプだと思うよ。
Yeah, I figured I'd find you two here.
道具があれば、多分1分とかからないよ。
さすがね。二郎さんが得意なのは、心の奥の錠前外しだけじゃないのね。
Oh boy.
たたりじゃー。
The two of them jumped in surprise as I suddenly appeared in front of him. Ha! Found you, you fucking Bonnie and Clyde looking motherfuckers.
あら、リカちゃん、こんにちは。
You're not getting anywhere this time. You two are going to be important in this chapter, beyond your deaths.
急に脅かすなんて人が悪いわね。
開かずの細具殿の鍵を開けちゃおうとする人の方がもっと悪いのです。
あダメだよ、高野さん。やっぱり悪いことはするもんじゃないよ。
Tomitake conceded right away, but Takano was stubborn. She made up excuses to try and fool me. Based on my previous lives, I knew just how much interest she had in the storehouse. It was actually rather impressive how hard she tried to cover that up. The ritual storehouse is full of the remainder of the dark history of Onikafuchi. It contains bloody and vicious tools that Takano is fascinated with. She should have a good idea as to what those things are inside of the storehouse, based on what she has been researching. She was making up some story about cultural treasures and such, but it was obvious that she was just making excuses. Tomitake also seemed impressed, listening to Takano's phony justifications. In the past, I've tried to conceal what was inside of the storehouse from Takano because I don't want her spreading information about the holy and brutal traditions they used to have in Onikafuchi village. It would be a disgrace. As a member of the Furuta family, I can't let that happen. Looking at the history of Onikafuchi in the way Takano does is a painful thing for Hanyuu as well. For Hanyuu, the ritual storehouse is a special place. I don't know what's so nice about being surrounded by those scary ritual tours, but she feels cozy when she's surrounded by the smell of old times. This storage is like Hanyuu's hideout. Okay, when I can't see her, she's usually relaxing in here. I don't want Hanyuu's happy place to be turned into the bloody, horrifying den of evil Takano believes it to be. That's why I've been keeping Takano away from the ritual storehouse. Okay, well, would that still mean that you and Hanyuu just come here from time to time? Like, according to my theory, I was assuming that the Oyashiro child would just be there. The reason why you even switched locks to begin with. Come to think of it, why am I so mean to her? Is it because I hate her? I should stop feeling that way. I have to keep in close contact with Takano and Tomitake. I won't give up just because it didn't work before. I'm going to try one more time. This world is different from the other ones. I might be able to change their fate, which in turn might change my own.
Hanyuu, Takanoに細具殿の中を見せてあげようと思うの。
Hanyuu made an irritated face. Takano will lose herself in ecstasy if she sees what's inside of there. She'll run around spreading rumors of the bloody history of Onikafuchi. Hanyuu wasn't too excited about that prospect.
高野にごまをするわけじゃない。でも話を聞いてもらうきっかけにはなるんじゃないかと思うの。高野は根に持つから、ここで意地悪をすると私の話をちゃんと聞いてくれないかもしれない。
I understand that Hanyuu doesn't want her inside this holy place, but she can't do anything more than be irritated about it. So irritated it makes you jump up and down on the floorboards? I'm the only one who can make the ultimate decision. Besides, she'll forgive me if I promise to eat something sweet later.
高野、もしも約束を守ってくれるのでしたら、中に入れてあげてもいいのですよ。
本当に？細具殿の中よ。中は中でも防災倉庫の中とかはなしよ。
本当ですよ。ちゃんと細具殿の中なのですよ。
西宮殿ってここよ。この建物の中なのよ。
別にごまかす気はありませんですよ。ちゃんとこの中に入れてあげますです。みぱ
にぱ
I've never seen such a big smile on her face before. Now this is a miracle. I'm seeing this face for the first time in 100 years. You know, with all the talks of, like, suspecting Takano of all the crap behind the curtains, the way I did till now, it still kind of makes me question why she's interested in the ritual storehouse to begin with. Like, what does the ritual storehouse have anything to do with whatever I've concocted up until now? At some points I was thinking, oh, is it because it will trigger a paranoia into the kids? That's why she was interested in bringing some of the kids behind, like, inside, like Keiichi and Shion, to spread the paranoia and the devilish spooky stuff. I mean, that could be one possibility, but other than that, I don't know. Maybe this is a completely separate thing that has nothing to do with anything. Maybe she really is just interested in seeing what's inside and there's no evil ulterior motive behind it. I don't fucking know. Tomitake must be feeling the same way. His image of Takano was slowly falling apart as we spoke, I'm sure. No. Maybe he just found a new side of her to love instead.
高野って結構面白い人だったのでびっくりなのです。
やっぱりコミュニケーションって大事ね。人を知るのってつくづく難しいと思い知るわ。
We remained there and watched Takano spinning in their life for a while. Yeah, this is a first. Either she is a quirky, like, weird occult fanatic, or maybe a caring kind of woman, like a nurse, and now this.
中には内緒で入れるのですから他の人に見つかってはいけませんですよ。
ああ、そうだよね。高野さんを正気に戻しておくよ。
僕はその間に鍵を持ってきますです。
Or, you know, I guess if I'm to go and look at the Oyashiro child thoughts that I had before, maybe she was trying to find Oyashiro the child. That would be why she will be into going inside the ritual storehouse. I mean, that's also one idea. I don't think I actually brought that up. Like when it comes to the ritual storehouse specifically. By the time I came back with the key, Takano was totally calm again. She was obviously trying to hide how gleeful she was though. I thought she was a mature lady, but she might still be a kid at heart. I think they call that something like gap moe. I picked the term up at some point from Keiichi, but I'm still not sure how it's used. Did such a term exist even in 1983? Or is this something coming from Keiichi from Ryukishi specifically? I don't think that such a term existed at this point. That feels like more like an internet kind of thing.
では高野、富武、中に入る前にいくつか約束がありますです。ちゃんと誓ってくれないとダメなのです。
もちろんよ。開かずの西宮殿を古出家当主が自ら開けてくれる金を犯すのだもの。約束は守るわ。
ダメだよ高野さん。ちゃんと真面目にやらなきゃ。
失礼ね。私はとても真面目よ。
僕の中の高野のイメージが今大変なことになっていますのです。
私もよ。高野の株価が世界恐慌で大暴落って感じ。
But as I said it before, it's not a good idea to think about problems all on your own. I always hated that crazy part of Takano. I didn't want to be close to her. But I never thought she could act this way. She was acting almost like Rena does when in her cute mode. Had I known that she was as funny a person as this, I wouldn't have felt resentment toward her. I realized how important communicating can be.
まず細具殿へ入ったことは内緒なのですよ。誰にも教えてはいけませんです。
もちろんよ。誓うわ。
Takano put her hands to her chest. She also forced Tomitake to do the same. It was funny to watch Tomitake trying to keep up with Takano too.
中はとても大切な場所ですから、怪我したり傷つけたりしちゃダメなのです。
もちろん分かってるわ。それで撮影は可能なの？
可能ですが、1枚100円なのですよ。
Damn. Might as well mooch some money out of her.
二郎さん、あなた今いくら持ってるかしら
？1万円払うとお得な1日取り放題券になりますです。
安い。払うわ。二郎さん。
They paid me the money for real. Hanyuu seemed excited, knowing that the money could be used for buying desserts.
高野はとてもいい人なのです。
あんたも現金ね。
I finally got approval from Oyashiro-sama, the master of the storehouse. But they have no more problems now. The virtual storehouse is behind the building with a convention room. Sometimes people come out for a cigarette break. I can't let anybody see us entering.
大丈夫。誰もいないよ。
Tomitake checked out the scene and gave me the signal to go ahead. I nodded at him and unlocked the door. Alright. I pushed open the heavy door just far enough for us to sneak inside.
富武が表で待っていると不審に思われますです。
え？僕も入るのかい？
He seemed surprised that I was asking him to come inside with us. Tomitake, of course, wasn't particularly interested in what was inside the storehouse. I expected his surprised reaction.
二郎さん、リカちゃんが入れって言ってるのよ。早く入って。
ああ、わかったよ。
Tomitake squeezed inside as Takano urged him. I turned the light on and closed the door. Then I put the chain on from inside. Alright.
厳重なのね。
錠前が外れていることに気づいた悪い猫さんが入ってくると困りますのです。
にゃーにゃー。
悪い猫さんで申し訳ないわね。
高野、猫は猫らしくニャーニャー鳴かないとダメなのですよ。
にゃーにゃー。
ニパー。
それはどういうことかしら？
高野がちゃんと猫さんじゃないと見せてあげないのです。ちゃんと鈴付き首輪と猫耳も持ってきましたですよ。
Oh, boy.
これをつけて四つん這いになってニャーニャー言ってくれなかったら次の扉を開けてあげませんです。
The shrine storehouse has two doors so that people can't see inside when the first door is opened. At the moment, we were inside the entry chamber. The real storehouse is in the room beyond.
え？リカちゃんもきついな。いくらなんでもそんなの。
ええ、それが試練ならやるわ。これはリカちゃんが私の知的探求心がどれだけ一途で高貴か試しているのよ。
Well, damn.
いいわ。あなたが望むなら猫耳と尻尾付きで四つん這いになって前足で顔を洗いながらご主人様大好きだにゃーだって言ってみせる。
高野ってみんなと同じくらいの年だったらきっと部活メンバーに混じっていたと思いますのです。
そうね。ほら、世界恐慌の時、ウォール街で紙切れになった株券が雪のように舞ったと言うじゃない。なんかそういう感じよ、高野の株。
さあさあリカちゃん、猫耳と首輪だけでいいの？
高野さん、そもそもこの扉、鍵なんかないよ。ほら、押せば開く。
そうなの？あら嫌だ。私ったらみっともない。
ち、
Tomitake has no sense of humor. He just turned off a lot of viewers who were looking forward to seeing Takano in the cat outfit. Tell me about it.
と、冗談はこのくらいにして押せば開きますのです。ニパーン。
Once we went through the door, we found ourselves inside the storage area. There were no windows in there, so it was completely dark, even during the day. There were several light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, but they were dim, and their light only exaggerated the darkness inside. Oyashiro-sama's statue and the altar dominated the center of the room. They were surrounded by tons of ancient torture implements. They were all over the floor, walls, and ceiling. It looked like a torture room, rather than just storage for tools instead of one. Rather than just storage for tools intended for one.
これはすごいね。
Tomitake was rendered speechless. They were nothing like those fake torture implements that they might have seen in a wax museum or someplace like that. The tools in this room are the genuine articles. I never like to think about it, but I'm sure some of them really were used. These authentic tools always have a big impact on the people who see them. But Tomitake was the only one who was shocked, since he was the only normal person in the room. Takano's eyes were sparkling. She was taking pictures while meowing like a cat. This place isn't special to me. Of course, I know I'm supposed to treat it as a holy place, but I'm so used to seeing all these things after coming here countless times since I was little. To me, it's nothing but a storehouse with a lot of old stuff inside. As for Hanyuu, she says it's the only place the air from time past lingers in this present day. So she actually finds it comforting. I get in a good mood when I come here because Hanyuu gets in a good mood. This is a relaxing place for her. As I watch Tomitake's reaction, I notice how totally off my values are from normal people's. Takano's reaction seemed more natural to me in a sense. Hanyuu seemed to be bothered by Tomitake's reaction too. Maybe it was a bad idea to let him come inside after all. Not like I could kick him out at this point. Hanyuu and I sat on a cushion in front of the altar and watched Takano dance with childish glee while Tomitake made touching efforts to keep up.
どうしてこんなにもたくさんの拷問道具を作ったんだろうね。だって拷問というのは相手を屈服させるのが目的じゃないのかい？こんなにいくつもおびただしい数や種類がどうして必要だったんだろう。
Indeed. And people of the past sure were creative about the way they were torturing people. Jesus.
二郎さん、拷問道具には2つの脅し方があるのを知ってるかしら？一つは使用して相手を痛めつけることで効果を発揮するもの。もう一つは使用するぞ、使用したらものすごい痛いぞと、そういう意味ではいろいろ物騒な拷問道具がたくさん取り揃えてある光景はそれだけで脅迫的意味を持つものだったのよ。
確かに拷問というのは実は高度な技術が必要だ というような話は聞いたことがあるよ。程よく痛めつけて、かつ殺さないというのは、確かに加減が難しいことかもしれないね。
Pardon me, but is Tomitake's voice different this time? Tomitake acted like he's having a conversation with Takano, but his voice was obviously unsteady.
西洋の拷問道具の中にはやたらと装飾型で、実際に使用すれば痛めつける以前にあっさりと殺してしまいかねない。ある意味拷問道具としては構造欠陥のあるものが少なくないのよ。まあ拷問道具も厳密には屈服を目的とする被験者を対象にした純粋な拷問道具と、見せしめや娯楽を目的とする観覧者を対象にした虐殺道具に分かれるんだけど、これを混同して誤解している人が多いのが嘆かわしいわね。
じゃあ、話を戻すけど、これらの拷問道具で昔の人たちは何を屈服させようとしていたんだい？
You know, maybe the reason why I'm thinking Tomitake's voice is so different now is because I don't even get to hear him that often. Tomitake asked me that. He must have thought that Takano would say something far more scary if he asked her. He's forgetting that I'm just a little innocent girl.
私は鬼ヶ淵村の独自の戒律を厳重に守らせるためだったと思ってるんだけど、正解？
正解なのです。これらの細具は実際に使用するためでなく、むしろ展示して村人を怖がらせて戒律を遵守させることを主眼に置いたものだと言われてますです。
Yeah, I mean, for example, that thing on the right there, like the ropes with the cubes on them, like the cubes and such, like what are those? Like, is there a way to use them, or is just to fuck with the people's minds?
だから実際にこれらの道具を使う時になって、サイズが合わなかったり構造的に欠陥があったりで満足に使用できなかったという話も結構残っていますのです。
でも、実際に使用することもあったんだろう？やっぱり、穏便な話じゃないね。
戒律を守らないとお社様のたたりがあるだけでは、おとなしくルールに従ってくれない人たちもたまにはいたということなのです。
ねえリカちゃん、ではこれらの道具は基本的に村人を威圧するために用意されているのかしら？本当の意味での綿流しの時、食人の宴に使った調理解体道具だっていう説があるんだけど。
Hanyuu was making a frustrated face. She didn't want to remember the dark history of Onigafuchi village. People performed countless torture ceremonies in front of her, claiming that they were doing it in her name, the name of Ayashiro-sama. She asked them not to do that, but no one was able to hear or see her.
ノーコメントなのですよ、ニパー。
高野さんによく僕も聞かされるよ。大昔の鬼ヶ淵村の人たちは、神様のお告げがあると麓に降りて人をさらって食べてしまったんだろう。どうしてそんなことをしたんだろう。これもまた麓の人々に対する何かの見せしめなのかい？
私はそこはおそらく食物連鎖で人間よりも優位にあることを自覚するためにやった一種の儀式だと思っているわ。鬼ヶ淵村が外部との交流を禁ずる最大の建前が、自分たちは仙人で村は聖地。汚らわしい人間と交流すると汚れを持ち込む、そういうふうに言われていた。だから定期的に自分たちは人間以上の存在であることを 自覚し直す必要があったんじゃないかしら。
はあ、日本にも晒し首があったしね。見せしめは非人道的ではあるけど、抑止効果は極めて大だったというわけだ。
見せしめの犠牲者がひどい方法で拷問されて生きながら食われて絶命する。そんなのを見せつけられたら絶対に自分はああされたくないって誰もが思うわよね。日本には晒し首だけでなく貼り付けだってあったでしょ。処刑場に高々と死刑囚を貼り付けにして観衆の前で恥ずかしめられながら長槍でブスブスと刺されるのよ。二郎さんもわかると思うけど、槍でほんの一月二月された程度じゃ人は絶命なんてできない。腹部や胸部を貫かれればそれは十分に致死的なことではあるけれど、血がブクブクとあふれ出し、腹からは腸を引きずり出されて肺に血がたまり、最後には自らの血で溺れ死ぬ。そんな緩慢な死を思えばギロチンなんて人道的な発明よね。そうそう、知ってる？ギロチンってね、貴族のために生み出されたんですってよ。銃殺や絞首刑よりももっともっときれいにあっさりすっぱりと死ねるように生み出した、死の際まで特別扱いしてもらえる貴族のための処刑道具。フランス革命末期の恋愛を描いたなんとか物語っていう白黒映画があるんだけど、ラストのギロチンシーンは圧巻よ。観衆の嘲笑を浴びながら数珠つなぎの貴族たちが一列に並ばされて次々と一台のギロチンで処刑されていくの。ちょん、はい次、ちょん、はい次、ちょん。人間の死がわずか一瞬でベルトコンベヤーの上の工場生産のように量産されていく。神父のお祈りも最後に言い残す言葉も何もなしよ。ちょん、はい次、ちょん。もうそんな一瞬の死じゃ見せ物にならないからね。誰も個人の死に感情を抱かない。観衆は一人の死を見てるんじゃなくて、何十人もの貴族が長ネギをスライサーで削っていくみたいに手際よくちょんちょんちょんと跳ねていく、そのちょんちょんの連続性をショーとして面白がるわけ。それに比べたら一人の人間をじっくりいじめ殺す方がよっぽど個人を尊重しているとは思わない？そんな濃密な死と拷問で飾り立てられたのがこのお社様という存在なわけ。
Takano raises her hand to honor the statue of Oyashiro-sama.
お社様という存在は結局人間が生み出した偶像なの。その偶像は恐怖で祭り上げられることで神聖化した。そう、人が法則や戒律で石垣を組み上げ、呪いやたたり、奇跡や恐怖の漆喰でそれを固める。それらを積み上げて積み上げて雲の上にまで届く高みを作り、その上に建てられるのが神という存在なの。神は人が欲するゆえに人が生んだ人の手による存在。つまり人が人を恐怖で支配しようと思った時に生まれる純粋な恐怖と血と拷問の結晶。それがここではお社様という存在になるのよ。つまり神の世界へ至る階段は 神ではなく人の手で作られていたことの証左であり、私たち人間をさらなる高みへ誘う指針を示して。
Her passionate lecture was interrupted by a loud noise. As I looked back, Hanyuu was jumping up and down with her eyes full of tears. Thud, thud, thud. She was stomping the floor as hard as she could, making a loud noise instead of screaming out with her unheard voice. However, it all amounted to the same thing. Hanyuu cannot be heard by people.
違うのです。違うのです。僕はそんなのじゃないのです。
羽生。
僕は人が死んだりとかいじめられたりとか、そんなのは嫌なのです。みんなで一緒に仲良く楽しく暮らしてくれればいいのです。もちろん僕たちが悪いところもいっぱいありますです。でもそんなのを望んだことなんて一度もないのです。
羽生。羽生は羽生よ。お社様なんてあなたとは関係のないことでしょう。
違うのです。違うのです。高野は嫌いです。嫌いなのです。いつも僕のことをひどく言いますのです。ひどく言いますのです。言いますのです。
Was it a bad idea for me to bring Takano in here? For Hanyuu's sake, maybe. I knew that Takano would get overstimulated and say something like this. Fortunately, Hanyuu's rejection indirectly reached Takano, and she stopped lecturing. Somehow, Tomitake had heard the noise that Hanyuu made. He pressed his finger in front of his lips and told Takano to be quiet.
何事なの？
さっき子供が遠くで飛び跳ねるような音が聞こえたんだよ。この建物の周りで子供が遊んでいるのかもしれない。
No. I guess that pretty much checks with what we talked about in previous chapters, with the sounds that we hear here.
そう？私には何の気配も感じないけれど。
いや、確かに聞こえたよ。高野さん、ここへはお忍びで入れてもらってるんだ。リカちゃんの立場にも配慮して、もう少し静かに見学しないと悪いよ。
Takano seemed disappointed, but Tomitake was right. She had no choice but to be quiet.
富竹、周りに子供なんていませんですよ。
そうかい？リカちゃんには聞こえなかったかい？僕は確かに飛び跳ねるような音を聞いたんだけどな。
もちろん僕も聞きましたですよ。遠くではなく僕のすぐ後ろでドタンドタン跳ねていましたです。富竹には遠くに聞こえたでしょうが、僕にはすぐ後ろだったのでうるさいくらいでしたですよ。
I was standing in front of the altar, and the statue of Oyashiro-sama was right behind me. Tomitake seemed freaked out after hearing what I just told him. Although he was trying to fake a smile, his face was turning pale. However, Takano didn't seem scared at all.
高野、西宮殿の中でお社様を怒らせるようなことを言うのは禁止なのです。お社様がとても怒っていますのです。その声が聞こえませんか？
It's fortunate that she can't, to be honest. Even if she heard it, it would be nothing but tears. My job as a shrine maiden to begin with is to tell humans that what Oyashiro-sama is feeling. I am responsible for speaking on Hanyuu's behalf. Takano must have realized that I was very serious about what I just said. She apologized to me right away.
ごめんなさい。いささか調子に乗りすぎたわ。お社様もごめんなさい。人が崇めればそれは神。たとえ私が崇めなくても 神聖は侵されない。面白半分に冒涜したことを謝るわ。
お社様は甘いものが大好きなのです。僕を経由してお供えしないとたたりがありますですよ。
Tomitake couldn't help but smile. Takano also smiled. She bowed to me, promising to bring over some cream puff soon. Takano finally stopped saying bad things about Yashiro-sama. She also promised to bring me something sweet. Hanyuu was still upset, but she was probably satisfied for the moment. But I didn't know what she meant by the 3 fingers she was showing to me. 3 fingers? Was she telling me to ask Takano for that too? Being a shrine maid is not an easy thing.
お社様はシュークリームは最低でも3つ欲しいと言ってますですよ。僕が食べたいわけではないので誤解しないでほしいのです。
They took it as a joke I made to reduce the tension. Tomitake and Takano cracked up, holding their stomachs. Hanyuu was looking at them with surprise, not knowing why they were laughing. My face, meanwhile, was turning red with embarrassment.
わかったわ。お社様のために美味しいシュークリームを3つ買ってくるわね。リカちゃんやさとこちゃんの分もいくつか買った方がいいのかしら？
いえ、僕の分はいいのです。その代わり、どうしても聞いてもらいたい話がありますのです。
何かしら？今日は西宮殿に入れてもらえるというわがままを聞いてもらえたんだから、それに見合うわがままには応えるつもりよ。
僕が今から話すことを絶対に信じてほしいのです。どうしてとか、そんなバカなとかはなしなのです。だから絶対に信じて運命に打ち勝って私を助けてほしいのです。
Both of them are surprised to see such a serious look on my face. I was sure they'd be surprised. After all, I was about to explain to them that they were going to die in 2 days. I'm sure they'd want to deny that, but I knew a fair bit about their deaths. If I could explain it to them in detail, they wouldn't be able to laugh it off. I talked to them about it several times in previous lives, but they never took it seriously. I only had that slight possibility that they might believe me. Hopefully, the possibility is as small as a miracle. It should be engraved on the side of a dime. My friends overcame their fates, and they all rolled a 6. Should I call that a miracle? Please, God, let me roll a 6 again. Okay, please let them believe that death is upon them. Alright, well, let's see if there's gonna be any difference this time. Irie turned the light on as soon as he finished his presentation. There were about 8 men wearing lab coats inside the meeting room. The man sitting at the far end was the only person without one. Upon seeing Irie finish his speech, he clapped his hands several times. Okay. Having noticed his applause, the other men in the room soon followed suit.
それはよかった。本当によかった。この度の成果は個人的にもとても満足できるところです。
If I had the ability to fall off my chair right now, I would. What?
入江先生の献身的努力の賜物ですわ。
Tomitake, what the fuck are you? What are you even wearing? Are you wearing a general outfit? Oh my fucking god. Hallelujah. I am getting something more out of Tomitake in this. It truly is a miracle. But what the fuck?
いえいえ、優秀なスタッフの協力があればこそです。すべてのスタッフに感謝します。
これで完全治療のめどが立ったと言えるでしょう。
Perfect cure.
まだいくつかの詰めは残っておりますが、それは時間と予算が解決する問題です。
それにつきましては、よろしくお願いいたします。しかるべき人員と予算があれば、おそらく3年以内。61年度までには完全な医療体制を確立できると思います。
1986. That is definitely a good year.
今後の課題は、専門知識のない医療機関でも容易に対応できるパッケージ的な治療方法の確立と、より安価で簡易な検査法の確立です。
検査法に関しては、現在入江先生が血液採取から潜在患者を発見する方法を研究中です。この方法が確立すれば、一般的な健康診断と併用できますので、相当の低コスト化を実現できると思われます。
それは素晴らしい。現在の検査法はだいぶ大掛かりで高コストですからね。いや、コストにまでお気遣いいただき本当に感謝します。国民の健康はすなわち国益のはず。それに予算問題を出すのは本当に情けないことなのですが、削れるなら1円でも安くというのが当方の立場なのです。
もちろん理解しています。治療法は確立したが、コスト的に不可能では絵に描いた餅ですから。机上の空論でなく、実行可能な方法で考えるのも我々の仕事です。
Tomitake started clapping again, with one fold suit.
あなたは医師として優秀なだけでなく、本当に尊敬できる人格者です。あなたとお会いできたことを誇りに思います。
いえ、本当に拍手をいただくのは、すべての方を治療できて、いわゆるお社様のたたりを完全に撲滅できた時です。それまでどうか連帯して頑張っていけたらと思っております。
こちらこそ、私も入江所長の要求する予算が限りなく額面通りになるよう努力します。どうか引き続きよろしくお願いいたします。
Tomitake and Irie shook hands, and the meeting room was filled with applause yet again.
では、今夜のミーティングはこれまでといたしましょう。
Alright, discussion time. Apparently I may be on the right track. So, the secret organization, a.k.a. or the government, now being represented by Tomitake, which is a brand new thing that I'm learning right here, more than likely. It can be that they are looking for a cure for this disease that not even the government knows where it comes from. So they're trying to find a cure that would stop all these deaths happening in Hinamizawa. And it could be possible that Takano secretly is trying to put a stop to that. Or there is still the possibility that, hey, Tomitake right over here, as well as many people in the government / secret organization, are trying to do a good right over here by trying to find a cure to stop all this. But there could be some other parts of the government that would want this to be weaponized. So we don't know what would be the true motives even to this point, but at least we know some people, like Tomitake, are trying to find a cure. A cure is 100% evidence right over here that some people are trying to find a cure for it.
明日は皆さんもお待ちかねのメインイベント、予算ヒアリングです。各自奮闘しましょう。
Takano was being sarcastic, of course. The staff members in lab coats were smiling bitterly.
いや、必要な予算なら私も最大限配慮します。私は本当は皆さんの味方になってあげたいくらいなんですよ。 ですが、上に説明するのも直接怒られるのも僕ですのでね。
Actually, I'm looking at what it says on Tomitake's chest right over here. Visitor. Infectious Disease Surveillance Center. Okay.
申し訳ございませんが、しぶしぶ厳格に審査させていただきます。どうかご協力をよろしくお願いいたします。
それが富武さんのお仕事ですから、やむを得ません。
So yeah, you know, this further goes into the theory that, okay, Takano would want Tomitake dead because Tomitake is in favor of trying to find a cure for this, and Takano, however, would put a stop to that. Since Tomitake would more than likely be the face of the cure research and all that, Takano finds Tomitake a threat to that and would put a stop to it by killing him. And therefore, instead of us finding a cure, the disaster would happen.
どうか明日はよろしくお願いいたします。では、本日はこれで解散といたします。
Once he declared the meeting over, his white-coated staff gathered up their documents and left after glancing at the clock. So, I guess in that sense, not only would Rika be important towards, like Rika's death would be important towards the disaster happening, but also Tomitake, because if Tomitake is the face of the cure, and not only do they have Rika die, but also Tomitake die, that would be like a failure in trying to find a cure, and therefore, the government would be like, okay, well, plan A didn't work, let's go to plan B and just destroy the village. And that could be it. It was almost midnight. And the staff who were off tomorrow might be alright, but those scheduled to work needed to sleep soon, or it would hinder them the next day. Takano gathered up the butts from the ashtrays, as well as the empty coffee cans.
あら、コーヒーを飲まない人もいるのね。せっかく会議用に認めさせたコーヒー代なんだから、ちゃんと飲んでくれないとこの分まで予算が切られちゃうのかしら。
ひどいな。僕も仕事でいやいややってるんだよ。
ああ、高野さん、そのコーヒー1本もらえます。
じゃあ僕ももらいます。すべて飲み切った方が予算請求には都合がいいでしょうから。
We are on a budget here, folks. On a budget. The two of them seemed more relaxed with the other staff members gone. Tomitake and Ariakey loosened their collars in a sigh of relief.
リカちゃんとサトコちゃんたちはお元気ですか？先週聞いた話では、サトコちゃんの検査結果が一時期良くなかったように聞きましたが。
あれは取り越し苦労のようでした。急に暑くなりましたからね、体がびっくりしてしまったんでしょう。最新の検査結果では非常に安定した状態に戻っています。
入江先生は聡子ちゃんには特に熱心ですからね。
そんなことはありませんよ。医師たるもの、すべての病める者には公平に全力を尽くします。そして私に感謝してメイドさんになってくれればなお素晴らしいのですが。
Maybe not.
いやはや、なかなかそうはなりませんね。
サトコちゃんを完全に治療できる方法があれば本当に素晴らしいのですが、それはやはり難しそうですか？
サトコちゃんのように一度でもレベル5に至った場合、幻覚症状の再現、いわゆるフラッシュバックに近い現象が起こりやすくなります。
Jesus Christ. Okay, so first things first. This feels quite interesting. Like, we've seen the interactions between Takano and Tomitake and Takano and Ariakey, but all three of them together, and with such a friendly vibe going on between them, it is quite interesting. Second of all, they are talking about Satoko right over here, which makes me think that they are thinking about this incurable disease that I've been theorizing for quite a while. And now they're talking about an L5 stage. How many stages are there? Once a patient reaches the L5 stage, like Satoko, it's easy for them to experience hallucinations. Similar to patients suffering from flashbacks. Yeah, hallucinations. Huh.
これは厳密には病気によるものではなく、精神の中に育まれる正常な防衛反応なんです。
Normal defense mechanisms cultivated in the brain. Yeah, paranoia and that sort of stuff.
厚物に懲りてナマスを吹くということわざにもあるように、過去の経験を積極的に生かそうとする正常な反応なんです。
Uses past experiences proactively for survival. Okay, so I guess you can offer that example that Keiichi offered with the needle in the comic book and all that. And I guess on a subconscious level at times, he's gonna fear that. Because, okay, I did mention in chapter 1, about chapter 1, that, okay, the cause of that is the paranoia that he cultivated for Rena and Mion because of those weird things. But the imagery of the needle specifically stems from those comic books, because otherwise it could have been something else that was inside the Ohagi that could have been in Keiichi's mind. That would be a cause of harm for him because of Rena and Mion, like a razor blade or something. Or, I don't know, some other item that would be very dangerous to be digested. It's like a combination of a lot of things that Keiichi had in mind there.
つまり一言で言えば心的外傷のことよ。しかも前頭葉に直接ダメージを受けていることが考えられるので、一般的な心的外傷よりもずっと繊細なカウンセリングと長期の投薬が必要でしょう。
病気は治療できても心の傷は治せないということかい？
心的外傷に苦しむ人は社会にも大勢いる。その中の一人に混じれるだけでも、かつてのさとこちゃんの症状を思えば奇跡的な回復なんだしね。
糖尿病などと同じに考えてください。不治の病ではあっても症状を抑えて元気に生活されている方も大勢います。
さとこちゃんは今でも日に3度の注射を？
いえ、だいぶ調子が落ち着いてきましたので、今は日に2度です。3度に比べればだいぶ負担は軽くなったと思います。
最初はだいぶ嫌がったんだけどね。
Okay, so I did theorize before about the nature of this disease, whether it's something natural that nobody knows its source, or it was manufactured by like some secret government. It does seem that it may have some secret origin that not even the government may know of. And as of now, we only know that they're working on a cure. Whether they're working on weaponizing it as well, we don't know. But it can very well be that we're talking about a disease that nobody knows the origin of. With that being said, yeah, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, this disease that we're talking about, it mostly manifested, as far as I can see, from people who had trauma in the past. Everybody. Rika has, like, what she's going through. Satoko with Satoshi and her abusive household. Rena with what we've seen in chapter 6. Mion, Shion, Keiichi. All of them we have seen display such paranoia, hallucinations, and all the symptoms that make me think of all that. They all had emotional trauma. So it's not as if you are gonna notice this sort of stuff in people who are healthy, who have like good lives. Well, okay, Tomitake is, as of now, like an exception to that, which makes me think that, okay, there clearly is like a weaponized version of that, like the cure, or as I said before, if we implant like too much of that same liquid, instead of curing that person, it would make them go bonkers. Even if maybe they have like a healthy life like Tomitake. That, or maybe he did have like an emotional life as well. We don't know. So Tomitake right over here is someone that we have to explore a little bit more when it comes to how he died.
リカちゃんがうまくごまかしてくれてるみたいよ。
I mean, I'm still thinking that Takano injected Tomitake with a drug that made him go bonkers, but it depends on like how the parasite like such the disease manifested.
ごまかして。
さとこちゃんは生活資金の援助を受ける代償として私の研究に協力してもらっているということになっています。
では、日に2度の注射は自分の病気のためでなく、入江先生の研究の協力のためにやっているつもりなんですか？
次郎さん、さとこちゃんに自分がどういう病気にかかっているのかを説明することはとても残酷な意味を持つのよ。前に話さなかったかしら？
あ、いや、思い出したよ。無神経なことを言って申し訳ない。
富武さんもどこかでさとこちゃんに会ったら優しくしてあげてください。
そうですね。わかりました。
リカちゃんは本当に強い人ですね。さとこちゃんと同じような境遇のはずなのに、あれだけしっかりと生活できるんですから。
すべてリカちゃんとお亡くなりになられたご両親のおかげですね。多大なる理解と協力がなければ、これだけの短期間では治療の糸口は見つけられなかったでしょう。
人道的でない実験にもよく耐えてくれました。ご両親の死をも乗り越えてくれた彼女の協力なくして今日の成果はありえません。
Actually, like I did say that Rika would be included in that pool of kids who had like emotional trauma and are being affected by the disease and all that. And I did say before that Rika has reached such a status of ultimate power because of the disease, that to the point where she would be able to see into different timelines. Now, I'm not sure, like the cause of all this. I mean, it still could be that seeing into different fragments and all that is like an ultimate stage of this disease, and that's why I was saying about the weaponizing of the disease to the point where government would use it to see into other timelines, to weaponize it and all that, to gain advantage against their enemies. That's why I was theorizing about this. But other than that, we have never seen Rika in a state of hallucinating kind of deal right away here. It's like such a weird case with her.
なんとかその恩に報いてあげたいものです。
そうですね。東京もリカちゃんとさとこちゃんが最大の功労者であることは理解しています。必ずや二人の協力に見合う感謝を示すでしょう。
あらあら、私たちにはコーヒーフィルター代まで渋るのに気前がいいのね。
だからそれをいじめないでほしいな。昨年の話は高野さんに根を持たれっぱなしだよ。
でも私たち大人は彼女たちの協力に結局お金でしか報いれないのね。心で報いる方法があればいいのに。